Hey, this is Matthew. Just wanted to share something about something I saw today. There were some people that served in the Australian Army, and they're talking about casualties based upon actions by those soldiers when they go to some kind of situation where they're protecting, they're acting like the white helmets, like the UN, which are supposed to be defenders. So it is a distinction that's not made usually. Um, if you're a soldier, are you an aggressor or what can be called an enforcer, or are you a defender? Pretty much always, if you're an enforcer, you're going to be functioning outside of your own country, out of your own sphere of influence, out of your own culture, out of your own language, out of your own direct interests. Although sometimes politicians, warmongers, psychopaths, and members of the military industrial complex will say different. Actually, the fact is that it's out of your scope of control and influence. Now, look at what America did in Afghanistan. Absolute failure. Look what they did in Vietnam. Absolute failure. Look what how Korea turned out. The idea that America could spread democracy, did you live in America? Have you seen the tent cities? Have you seen the drug addiction? Have you seen the racism? Have you seen the violence by police? Have you seen the violence by individuals? And you want to spread that to other countries? Are you kidding me? Look at what happened in Iraq. Over a million people died through the direct efforts of the US military. They murdered a million people. And what did George Bush do? When 9/11 happened, he sent people into Iraq. How many people died in 9/11? About 3,000, right? From all told. Bush murdered more soldiers fighting in Iraq about a total lie, which they all knew at the time. I used to respect Powell, Colin Powell, but I lost respect for him when he got behind the invasion of Iraq. Before that he wasn't a warmonger, in my opinion. He wasn't a war hawk. So Bush actually murdered more American soldiers than died on 9/11 in revenge of 9/11. And okay. So the distinction that I really want to get at here, there is so much evidence, there's so much history, there are so many facts that prove how absolutely ridiculous the US government's military is and how US citizens are forced by violence or prison to pay into that to support those that group of psychopaths. There's people that are invading other countries. There are people that are going in and stealing resources and dominating and killing innocent civilians, dropping bombs on their heads and things like that. So these are the enforcers that work for the military. The military says, you got to go do this, maggot, cockroach, you know, tear down all their sense of independent thinking so that they'll obey your commands and they won't question. Most people won't question the commands of their commander. That's what the military is all about. You do what they say. And there's a lot of bull that comes out about, oh, I'm able to resist. About no, you're not in that real situation. Not what I've heard anyway. I never served. When I was young enough to understand, when I was old enough to understand what was going on in Vietnam when I was a kid, I asked my dad where Canada was. And I was, I don't know, 8, something like that. So I'm not the guy that does that for others, but your average person is. I'm just a little bit strange or a lot strange. Anyway, enforcers. And there are people that are defenders. Somebody comes into your home. Now, this is happening in Palestine right now. The invading Zionists are stealing the land and they're killing people and they're shooting innocent children. The snipers in their perches are shooting and murdering children, or they're putting them in jail and they'll drive all their military vehicles into an area where people have absolutely no defense whatsoever, and they're going breaking into homes and taking people out and things like that, based upon these people just saying, hey, this is my home, don't bulldoze it, this is my land, my family lived here for hundreds and hundreds of years. Nobody has the right to go in and say, oh, I used to live there 1,000 years ago. If that was true, if that actually worked, You know how many Native Americans could come in and kick out the people in America that are living in New York, or that are, what about all the Mexican people? Take over Texas and California and what is it? Uh, New Mexico and Arizona. This huge area that used to be part of Mexico that basically American leadership just stole. And what did their soldiers do? Their soldiers went into that foreign territory and they stole that land and they killed the people on it. So America has an extremely filthy, dirty history of stealing, dominating by using military force. Okay. And you got to have money to do that. You got to pay the soldiers so that they're attracted to doing it. And usually they're not going to do it for free unless the ideology is so strong in their head, they're like part of a cult. So there's defenders, defend your home. I agree with that. Have a local neighborhood, militia, have people that are armed, people that are trained. Somebody comes in the neighborhood, they try to steal grandma's purse. They sneak in the middle of the night. I want to have guys there defending that. Some idiot crackhead that comes in and he's raping women, or he's coming in and doing whatever violent things he's going to do. We need to have people locally in the community that are working together that can defend the community. That's a defender. Enforcer, all the soldiers that went to Iraq. Iraq was absolutely no threat to the US. And they never stated that they would have Saddam never threaten the US. Okay, so see the difference? We use the word soldier, but we don't make distinctions about it. We need to make distinctions about it. We talk about gender. Anybody can identify as any gender they want, identify as any being. You could identify as Jesus Christ. I don't care. But we still know what equipment you were born with. So there's a difference between how you identify and what gender you were physically born with, no matter what operations you have. You're physically born a certain gender, and separate from that, you can identify as anything you want. Now, you can't force me to use whatever language that you prefer about you. If I see you as a pelican, I'm going to say, hey, pelican. If I see you as a man, I'll say, oh, mister. Now, if you say, oh, no, please call me Caterpillar. Then, oh, okay, I'll call you Caterpillar. People change their name. You can call them whatever you want. It's like changing your name. No operations required. So let's make a distinction about gender issues. Let's make a distinction about soldiers, those that go in and murder and kill and rape and steal land because they're brainless tools of the military leadership and the psychopaths and the people that are just defending their homes. This is a completely different kind of a person, but we often use one word, soldier or armed combatant, or guerrilla. We make up some different words where we try to make distinctions where these are the bad guys and these are the good guys. The good guy is the guy who's defending his home, just defending his home because somebody's trying to hurt him and invade, like what the IDF is doing to Palestine. And you can see they're encroaching and stealing and killing and murdering and enslaving more and more people and dominating and stealing resources like water, stealing resources like the exposure to the sea where they can play on the beach or where they can go fishing. This is an invading, murdering group, this Zionist military. Or the people that are in their homes and somebody comes in your home and they break in and they're trying to steal something from you. They're trying to rape your daughter, whatever evil thing you're going to do. You have every right to defend yourself and disarm them. I wouldn't recommend murdering them, but sometimes we have no choice, or sometimes, we're in the caught up in the drama of the situation. And, I know I'm against murder. I don't think murder is right, especially when it's committed by the state and they commit executions or life sentences. Even it's a kind of murder too. It's just ridiculously primitive, but these are primitive minds that are in charge. That's how they got there. So if someone broke into my home and they're hurting my family, I don't know what I would do. But in the passion of the moment, I might even kill them. But I don't endorse killing. I don't endorse hurting people. I endorse hog tying the guy and hauling him off, putting a collar on him or something like that. Let him try to live and be a happy life if he can contribute to humanity. Let him do that. Let people that have some weaknesses like that make mistakes sometimes. Let them contribute to humanity. Don't put them in a cage and then charge me to pay for that. That's ridiculous. Okay, distinctions. Defenders, aggressors, enforcers, mindless drones. There's a difference. This is Matthew, and this is 5 Steps Podcast. Have a wonderful day. It's 12:30 p.m. here in Chiang Rai, Thailand. And today is what? Today's the 22nd of February, 2023. Have a great day.